Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Good. I am Speed. Good morning. Good to see you, Oblivion. Hello, Alan. How are you? Good to see you. Alan Maia. I like it. David, good morning. Yes. How are y'all doing? Good to see you guys. Hope life is treating you well. Hopefully you're excited that you made it to the end of the week like me. Made it through another week. Yahir? Good morning, Yahir. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. I think all the housekeeping stuff is done. Wonderful. We did it. MMA guy. What's up, MMA guy? How are you? Yeah, but close enough. Okay, fair enough. I'll stick with Alan so I don't butcher your last name. I do apologize. All right. Coffee, code, chat. Here we go. Good morning, Duck Boy. Your stream is wild hours, my dude. It's 3:50 in Mexico. Yeah, well, it's wild hours though, or it sounds wilder than what it really is because in my time, or my time zone, it's 4:50. And normally I try to get up and get streaming by 4:15, but because we had daylight saving time, it's now technically for a lot of people it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is, I don't know. Talk to the people who run the United States. I can't get them to figure out how to stick to one of the daylight saving time. They keep flip flopping. Yeah. But the reason I do that is because I have a normal job. You know, like I don't just stream for a living. And I have 2 kids, I have a wife, so like the chances of finding 2 hours of solid uninterrupted time during the day is very, very low. So if I get up early, I guaranteed have 2 hours of uninterrupted time. But I mean, it's a what you're saying. You hear it's if I could stream not at 4:50 in the morning, I would probably do that. But I'm afraid if I didn't stream at 4:50 in the morning, then I wouldn't stream at all. Which I guess wouldn't be terrible. I mean, I'm guessing at some point I'm gonna get burnt out, and I'm gonna not want to do it anymore. But right now, I'm still having a good time. 4:50 p.m. here. Wow, you're exactly 12 hours ahead. We're literally like we're on like opposite shifts. I don't know if you guys have ever worked like shift work, but like we're like when I leave, I see you coming in, and when you leave, you see me coming in. Max Dev Mastery second? What do you mean second? Yeah, actually on Twitch you might be second actually. Good morning, yeah, because Oblivion's the only other one over on Twitch. Yeah, so you're second. Look at there. Yes, happy Friday. We made it. We made it through another week, man. AI has yet to take my job, so mark me as safe from AI. Unlike those poor, unfortunate souls over at Atlassian. Did you guys see his video? Oh my god, dude. He posted the Atlassian CEO. He posted some video that just was like the most shitty thing ever. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. He made a loom. That might be even better. How do I?
I am recording. Hi team. Since we are distributed across many time zones, I am recording a Loom to make sure everyone has a chance to hear from me directly about all of the changes we're announcing.
The soft-spoken, hushed tones of a worried CEO who's terribly heartbroken about having to lay off his workforce.
Today. First, I hope it goes without saying, but I want to acknowledge this is a very tough day. Days like these are among the toughest that we have as a company, and certainly the toughest that I have as a leader and we have as a collective leadership team. I hope it also goes without saying I don't make decisions like this lightly. I know there are real consequences for everybody, their families, their career plans.
Not for me and my
motivations.
millions of dollars.
With Dave in
After
mind, I want
this,
to
me and
start
my
by taking
family
a
are
moment
getting
to
on a
speak
private plane and headed out for the
directly
week.
to those Atlassians whose role are impacted. I am deeply sorry for the disruption this creates in your life. Even at a moment like this, and especially at a moment like this, your impact and contributions matter here massively.
I mean, okay, maybe he just had to do it, man. Okay, listen, he just had. Okay, first off, I know I'm being kind of a dick and I'm being a little bit of an asshole, but like, do you guys think he really cares? Like, really? Like, does he really, really care? I mean, he's got millions of dollars. He's got his family. He's got his job. He still has his company. Like, does he really care? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
Say
this is
thank
a
you for
PR.
all of those contributions. Your work will live on in our products,
Your
in the
work will
experience of our
live on.
customers, and in the
Don't
culture that you've
worry.
helped us
We'll
build
continue to
together.
monetize your contributions.
For Atlassians who are not directly impacted, I know that you're going to feel this a lot too. It can feel confusing to hold multiple things in mind at once. Uh, Probably relief that your role here is continuing, sadness about colleagues and friends who we're not going to be working with every day, uncertainty about what this means for the future of your
Don't worry, little ones. I know what you're feeling. I'll tell you how you feel.
team or your group. Um, all of those reactions, totally human, totally valid. We will get through them all. The blogs I've shared today go into a lot more detail about all the changes, how
What?
we're
Hold
thinking
on.
about them. So I won't go into all of that.
Why did it stop on Twitch? Oh, did Twitch block it maybe? Did Twitch mute me?
Here, what I do want to say is that
Uh-oh. Did Twitch not like it that I was...
I've made this
Hold on. Twitch was like, how dare you make fun of a billionaire? How dare you? How dare you criticize? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
this call because I believe it's the right decision for Atlassian's long-term health. It's an incredibly hard decision, but I still believe that it's the right one. We're focused on moving faster,
Huh. It
staying
seems like
disciplined
it's
on
coming through on
costs,
my
and
side.
proving that we can grow profitably over the long term by staying responsive to the world that we have to operate in. At the same time, we're also a people company. In how carefully roles were considered, how we support those who are leaving to go on to their next chapter of their journeys, and how we treat each other, especially those that are impacted. This is an example of what Build with Heart and Balance means and looks like in practice. Doing the right thing for Atlassian while acting with humanity
Oh, it's all
and
good.
doing the
No,
right
oh, no
thing
worries.
for all those.
I regret being entrusted. No, that's no problem at all. Yeah, no problem at all. I just want to make sure I'm not like
We are
playing empty audio to
learning on
everybody.
all sides of this set
You're
of
good.
decisions. I want to particularly thank the 100 plus people who've worked day and night to make sure that we make these.
So you hear, I feel the same exact way as you. You hear, like I don't need you to say all this stuff. I'm an adult. I understand how businesses work. I understand why businesses exist. Just get on the damn video and say, you know what? We didn't hit our profit targets. Our stock price is declining, so we had to make cuts. Right? It's like you don't need to hold my hand, bro. I'm not. I'm not breakable. Okay? It's
The
like
right decisions with care
I'm not
while
fragile.
keeping our employees front and center of every big or small decision we've made. Again,
Front and center,
displaying the
keeping our
ultimate
employees front and center of every decision we made, big and small. If that was the case, you wouldn't have laid off 1,000 people. I'm sorry. That's just so
set of Atlassian
disingenuous.
values and balancing that with the company's long term success. I will share more detail in the town hall next week. Please make time to join or catch up on the recording afterwards. In the meantime, please be kind to yourselves and to each other. Check in on your teammates and your friends, and give people everywhere the space to process and lean on the support that we are making available for everyone.
Put the fries in the bag, man. Just let's go. Money in the bag. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. I'm probably being a little too critical. I mean, I've never ran a company that large. I've never been a CEO. I've never been in charge of a publicly traded. So like there's some amount of this where I'm just being a little shit about it. But there's part of me that's one is like I don't really believe you care. I don't think this weekend you're gonna be sitting in the corner of your house wringing your hands, just like totally like fucked up because God, all these people are just not gonna be able to pay their bills. Like, I don't think that. I don't believe it. I don't really think you're that devastated. So therefore, don't make a video trying to portray that. Just make a video that says I'm a businessman and I made a business decision and this shit happens and we're gonna have to do it again. At some point, we'll probably have to lay some of you off too. And stop trying to PR me. Not sure if he made the decision. Well, yeah, he could have been. His hand could have been forced. Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I just, I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I take issue with those types of things because I just don't believe it that much. Agreed. This comes off as the card you get sent by your 20-year-long employer when you go to your parents' funeral. It just reads, "Yours truly, the team." Exactly. Exactly, Oblivion. Exactly that. That's what exactly it comes off. You've been better off just not sending the card in the first place. I mean, it's a public video, same as YT guys saying sorry after being canceled. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Steven, how did you make that coffee animation? I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's not actually, well, I'm going to fix this. So it should be in my PowerShell profile, but I haven't updated my PowerShell profile in a while. I'll update it right now, and then I'll link it. But I just made it with just a loop and text in PowerShell. That's all. It's just a PowerShell function. One sec. I'll get you the link. What is it? gis.github.com? Yeah. I need to do a better job figuring out like a central place to put all this. I should have one of those really nice, well organized like dot files repos, but I don't have one of those. I'm always jealous when I see people that have one. There it is. Edit. This is what the function looks like, though. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of small, but this is basically what the function looks like. You've got BRB. We create some strings, right? Create some other strings. And these are the two strings that we alternate between. So we print this one, then we print this one, then we print that one, then we print that one. There's the cup. And then we print our message, right? And then down here we just loop. So while a key hasn't been pressed, we just keep redrawing the screen. And then each time we redraw the screen, we just alternate. We do a little wraparound math to figure out what index we're on, which is always either going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, and then or 1 and 2, I guess it would be. And then we just put a little pause in there. But I'll update that, and then I think, let me see. I think if I type, how do you run it? Oh, I just run it in the terminal. Yeah, I just type, so right here, since in my PowerShell profile, all those function definitions get loaded on every session. So I can just type BRB, like that. And then it just prints it. It wasn't terribly too complicated to do it. I spent way too long on this part of it, trying to figure out the right position, like how to reset the cursor so that the whole screen wouldn't flicker. I'm guessing if you use Claude Code though or something like that, it could probably do this in like 3 seconds, but it took me about 30 minutes and it was a lot of fun to do. So let me get the link now. So at Learn with Adam and do, I think it's PWSH. Oh, whoops, hold on. Sorry, PWSH at Adam. Learn with Adam. Sorry about that. There we go. Make sure that links to the right place. I think sometimes when you update a gist, it creates a unique... No, it's... Okay, that's correct. Yep, that's correct. I think I have duplicate functions in here. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna update that again. I just realized I have a duplicate function. It's funny. Don't need this one. I had this interview one time where during the interview, the people asked me, they were like, "So, how do you manage your environment secrets?" You know? And I was like, "Well, depends on the project and the tech stack I'm working in, but like if I was in a TypeScript project, it'd probably just be in a .env file." And they were like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, unless you guys have some sort of like secrets manager or something that y'all use." And the person was like, "Oh, well, we actually prefer for people to put their environment variables in their shell sessions, like in their, like their .zsh RC or their PowerShell profile, so they're basically loaded at the time that you start up the terminal or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, interesting, really? Why is that?" And they were like, "Oh, it's more secure." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, because then the .env file, they're not on disk on the thing." And I was like, "Wait a minute, they are on disk though, because they're on the profile. That's a file on disk that gets." And so we proceeded to have this not very productive discussion about whether putting your environment secrets in a .env file was better or worse than putting it in your shell profile, which I thought was a very silly. to me, it was the exact same thing. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that the .env file is in the repo and they have concerns that it's going to get committed, but which is also a valid concern. But they didn't bring that up. It was a very strange conversation. Sup, Pablo? How are you doing? Steven might become a gym CEO after retirement. I would love to. Also, good morning, Cyberlonk. I saw you say good morning and I missed it. Or you said coffee man. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Learn with I doesn't matter. Syntax released a video about it. LOL. env is get ignored. Yeah. That's I mean, I understand security. And if you want to use a secrets manager, I think that's great. Like, but like for the vast majority of people, most people don't use a secrets manager like Azure Key Vault or anything like that, right? So you stick it in a .env file, and then you can ignore it, and you move on with your life. Let's just hard code everything, bros. Yeah, it's overkill for yeah, it's overkill. That's my feeling, Pablo. Like it's just overkill for personal projects. I'll push it to main anyways. I just when I was in that interview, I just couldn't I tried not to be very argumentative, like I tried to be like, okay, oh, that makes sense, but like inside in my head, I was thinking that seems like half dozen or the other, and doesn't seem like it really improves anything, and just makes people have to put stuff in their dot files that probably shouldn't live in their dot files. But that's just Steven's opinion. Okay, cool. There you go. Well, I'm glad I got my PowerShell profile updated, so that's right now. All right, what are we going to do today? I don't know. I was kind of thinking we might hook up the Discord bot to an LLM. I thought that might be kind of fun to do. It's been on my list for a little bit of time, but I've never gotten around to it. Also, I'm ignoring Twitch, which I apologize. I've committed env files before with token after I re-rolled them. We do a little pranking. Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone's probably pushed a token where it shouldn't be pushed. Max Dev, you're missing all the Twitch. I'm sorry, Max. That's my fault. Leakage? Yeah. Hard code. How else? Red flag. It was a red flag. My go-to library for TUIs is Blessed, in contrast to Curses. Yes, we've talked about this, Oblivion, haven't we? I still haven't used either of those libraries. If you want terminal GUIs, no joke, look at Textual. These are both Python. My apologies. Interesting. A terminal GUI. Huh. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. My friend was interviewed by someone who asked hardcore Linux questions, and apparently they argued about whether grep was regex based or not. What a productive conversation when they could have just opened the internet and asked Google. Good morning, Blackfire. Good to see you. It is not. Yes, TUIs are very popular now. Yeah, the TUI, but like TUIs are deceptively complicated to build, actually. Like, I'm really surprised at how not easy they are. Is physical S fully done? No, it's not fully done. However, I do have it deployed out on the internet, and I do have one of my bank accounts connected. And I ran into 3 bugs yesterday that I had to fix. Well, actually, it was actually only 1 bug that I had to fix. But the other issue I ran into was Cloudflare was blocking the webhooks from. Here's the deployed version. But Cloudflare was blocking the webhooks from Plaid, and so that was preventing new transactions from being synced. So I had to put a rule in Cloudflare to allow those. But yeah, it's not done, but it is at a point where it's being tested now. Looks like we've processed last 7 days. We have processed 8 syncs successfully. Or we've processed 8 syncs and we've only done 7 successfully. That's where I discovered the bug I had. But I fixed that yesterday. So far it's going good. I'm just waiting to see how much money it costs to run it. Damn, if you're up, I got to go to sleep. I like how I've officially become everyone's like bedtime alarm. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think it's kind of funny. LOL, I have to be up at 10 a.m. So what time is it for you? You here? Good morning, King Brownie. How are you? I don't know where you go to see. Oh, it got blocked again. These webhooks got blocked again. 3:40 a.m. 10:12 or let's see, 4:04. Huh. That's Cloudflare. Hold on. Okay, well, I guess before we do anything else, we're gonna troubleshoot this. I don't know why Cloudflare is blocking those. That's a real problem. That's a real problem. Nishant, what's your age? I am a 32-year-old dad of 2, and I live in Kansas City, Kansas, in the United States of America. And I like to write code. What you think about vibe coding? I think it's interesting. I'm not terribly interested in it, but I think it is interesting. I think it can be a pretty useful tool for doing exploration and prototyping and that sort of thing. I'm not totally bought into it for my own coding, like authoring my own code. And a lot of people tell me I'm going to get left behind because of that. And honestly, I'm okay. I've made peace with my God. Okay, if I get left behind, I will be left behind. Huh. I think coding is a vibe. I do think coding is a vibe. I would be on that team. I usually see you live on my lunch break. It's 12:15 for me. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, time zones are weird. It's super early in the morning for me, but time zones are a weird thing. I was going to try to find why this thing got blocked. Overview, analytics, events. $340. Bot fight mode. Yeah, so here are the blocks. These are the blocks. And it looks like they're blocking them because they think it's a bot. Manage challenge service bot fight mode. So I need to create it. I thought I had created a custom rule for this though. Looks like they're using Amazon to host their stuff. So how do I filter, exclude, filter? Let's see, create custom security rule. I could have sworn I already created one. Allow plaid webhooks. Take action, skip. I don't know how to prevent. Anybody have familiarity with Cloudflare? Anybody had to do this before? I basically want to prevent Cloudflare from challenging a request. Cloudflare. Hey, what's up, Mark? Good morning. You have to test everything in vibe coding multiple times before you launch. It's definitely getting better by the day. Hey, look, I'm not going to say AI is incapable. I'm not going to say you can't build stuff with agentic tools. It's just not necessarily for me. But if other people are enjoying it, you know what I mean? Vibe it up, brothers. Vibe it up. Let's see, Cloudflare. Stop bot challenge on specific endpoint. Okay, I don't have a paid plan. If you're using super bot fight mode, you can refine its settings to be less aggressive. You can choose to allow traffic instead of challenge or block for specific categories like verified bots. Oh, it's all or nothing. Well, shit. Well, I think the stream just went down. I'm sorry. That sucks. I think we're down hard on Twitch right now. Are we gonna reconnect? I don't know. Oh, we're back up on YouTube. But Twitch seems to be down hard. There we go. I think Twitch just reconnected. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Sped free. Wow, your grind is rock hard. Pablo, you're fine. Thank you. You can set up these rules on public planes, by the way. I think Gemini is hallucinating here. Okay. So Gemini, not Gemini, sorry, Cloudflare docs. Exclude endpoints from bot. Bot fight. Let's see. Bot fight mode and super bot fight mode use the same underlying technology that powers our bot management products. Specifically, these products, okay. Enable bot fight mode. Yep, I done that. Let's see. You cannot bypass or skip bot fight mode using the skips action in WAF custom rules or using page rules. Skip, bypass, and allow actions apply to rules or rule sets running on the rule set engine. While super bot fight mode rules are implemented in the rule set engine, bot fight mode checks are not. This is why you can skip super bot fight mode but not bot fight mode. That makes total sense. Why there are two different names, I don't understand. Bot fight mode can still trigger if you have IP access rules, but it cannot trigger if an IP access rule matches the request. For example, the IP access rule matches the connecting IP. Huh. Why would they do that? So super bot fight mode can be skipped, but bot fight mode can't be. That sucks. Huh. So I need to come up with some way to allow the... I need to come up with some way to allow the webhook to come through without being challenged by a bot. Without being given a bot challenge. I'm gonna turn it off for now. But I would like it to be on. But I can't figure out exactly. Excuse me. Alright, now we just have to wait and see if the next time Plaid sends a webhook, if it blocks it still. I wish Plaid had a way that I could just like re-queue it, you know, manually in the dashboard. We'll wait. We'll wait till it runs again. Let's see, so review. Create a Cloudflare rule just for that endpoint using rules. So I have one. I have a security rule just for that endpoint. But their documentation says that you cannot bypass or skip bot fight mode using the skip action in WAF custom rules or using page rules. Skip, bypass, and allow actions apply to rules or rule sets running on the rule set engine. While super bot fight mode rules are implemented in the rules engine, bot fight mode checks are not. So it doesn't look like I can use a rule to skip, because I did configure a rule earlier. Like this, see? But you don't have just a bot fight mode. They only give you super bot fight mode. So it seems like it's kind of an all or nothing deal. And if I look at the events, we're getting blocked because, yeah, see, you can see right here, the reason they're blocking those requests, the service that's blocking the request is bot fight mode. So I'm thinking I just for now I just have to turn off the bot fight mode till I come up with a better solution. It doesn't really even seem like there is a solution, unfortunately. It's in security settings. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Uh, Based on what their docs say, I don't think this is something you can do. Good morning, David. Let's see, Mark. Hello, sir. I need some words of wisdom. I don't know if I have any wisdom, Mark, but I'm happy to try to provide my thoughts. Let's see. In my job, there are no current leaders, just collaboration between teams. That can be rough. Now, the problem was I can't help but argue with other ideas. Man, I feel so bad. It feels like my ideas were getting rejected no matter what. What should I do? Collaborate or just stay silent? Just say, I can't talk. Or just stay silent. I still want this job, though. So that's difficult. I mean, that's why you have hierarchy in companies, is because at the end of the day, you need someone to make a decision. So that kind of sucks that you guys don't have any sort of leadership structure. So, Mark, I think there's a pretty good interview with Jeff Bezos. I know people are going to have feelings about Jeff Bezos, but there's a pretty good interview with Lex Friedman and Jeff Bezos where he talks about this, and he's talked about this in other places before. Like, I think he talks about it in some of his books. But there's a section in this interview where he talks about this idea of disagree and commit. And I think for you, maybe the thing you need to think about is there a way you can offer up your opinion, but pick and choose the battles or the hills that you actually want to die on? Like, there are probably some things you care about a lot more than others. So I think as a team member, when you're part of any team, you're going to have disagreements. People are going to have differing opinions. But just because someone's opinion is different than you doesn't mean you should like go out of your way to try to actively sabotage it. You can definitely offer, and I'm not saying you are, I'm not trying to say you are. You can definitely offer your corresponding opinion of like, well, I disagree because of XYZ reasons. But then the next step is for you to decide, is this a hill you want to die on? And if it's not a hill you want to die on, then I would encourage you to practice this idea of disagree and commit, which is once you've shared your perspective or your point of view and you've decided, okay, well, I don't care that much, then show your team that you're still part of the team by saying, okay, I don't think this is the right path, but I am determined or committed to trying to make it work the best we can, right? And I think that's honestly the best approach. You're just not going to be always. I hear what you're saying about feeling like your ideas are being rejected, but just because people don't always like green light your idea or go with your idea doesn't necessarily mean it's being rejected. They just disagree, right? So that's tough, though. It's tough because in any company there really should be somebody who's kind of the final, like after everybody's said their piece, there really should be somebody who owns the final decision. And it doesn't seem like you're in that situation, which is not the most fun. Do you want to use BFM or SBM? I would be fine with SBM. Super bot fight mode's fine. I don't know the difference between bot fight mode and super bot fight mode. Good morning, Inspire. Are we up earlier than usual? We're not up earlier than usual, but we just went through daylight saving time here in the United States, so that's why it feels earlier. But nah, we're up at the normal time, just an hour later or an hour earlier because of daylight saving time. David Bailey changed all the variable names in the code base. I'll show them. How dare they reject my idea? I can't believe they would do that to me. Oh man, the ads. Oh, I'm sorry, you got blasted by ads. Good morning, Kate. Good to see you. I'm doing well. It's Friday, so we're doing good. Inspire. Oh yeah, stupid shit. I remember. Yeah, it is stupid. I wish they just pick one and stick with it. Shav 128 encoding. You just encrypt the whole database, or not the whole database, the whole code base. People open up their files and it's just encrypted text. Have you been the streams the past 2 to 3 days? Oh, haven't been around. I'm sorry, man. Well, I appreciate you being a member, and I understand sometimes life gets in the way of being able to get back here. But appreciate you hanging around. Getting ready to go to bed. Well, that's good. You need your sleep. We all need our sleep. It's the most important thing we can do. Actually, Oblivion asking that question makes me want to understand what's the difference between super bot fight mode and bot fight mode. Oh, so bot fight mode is for the free plan only. It's a limited non-bypassable protection. So how much is a Cloudflare paid plan? Maybe I can cancel my Copilot subscription and I can get myself a Cloudflare Pro plan. Or cancel my Gemini subscription. Let's see. Pricing. Cloudflare. Pricing. Let's see. $20 a month. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd have to cancel both of those. Or $25 billed monthly. Well, that's probably not going to be what we do. I think we're just going to have to let the bots run roughshod over my website. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Nothing bad's going to happen. Oh no, I peek. I know things, but not why I'd want to know them. Inspire, what are we doing today? Well, I thought what would be fun to do today is to finally hook my Discord bot up to an LLM, which I've not done, and I've talked about doing it a bunch, and I just have never gotten around to it. CD Steve's bot. But I thought that would be fun to do. Please, no, I don't want LLM slop on the Discord too. You don't think it would be fun to be able to like ping the Discord bot? I mean, I won't do it if you guys don't want me to do it. But I thought it would be kind of fun to have that functionality. You could like DM the bot. What the I was just gonna give the bot like a persona. Like I was just gonna put a system prompt in there, and that way you could like tag the bot in a conversation, or you could DM the bot and it would respond back. I had some other ideas, like I thought it would be fun to like use the bot to like rank memes. I thought that would be fun. We could use the LLM for that. I don't know. There's probably some more clever things. Oh, yes, that makes sense. I would love to rip off your API credits. Well, I was just going to put it on the free tier, and then I was going to rate limit it so that as soon as we exceed the free tier limits, we just cut everyone off. That was my thought. 24/7 DMs from that one user. Marcus, what are we doing today? I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. I thought I was going to play around with my Discord bot a little bit, but maybe not based on what Inspire said. API stomping to your what's API stomping? I've never heard that term before. API stomping. Are we doing AI slot prompt engineering today in my chat? In my shorts feed? I mean, we could definitely do that. API stomping. What is that? Huh. There seems to be conflicting definitions of stomping. I don't know what that means. If you don't have ideas, teach us to build distributed systems or a job queue. You mean like how do you build a queuing system? I don't think I know enough about building distributed systems to teach you about distributed systems. Let's see, when someone tries to do forensics on my malware by running it in a sandbox, it detects it's in a sandbox and makes 100,000 API requests to use its sandbox budget so it can't be just dissected. Oh, wow. That's fascinating. David Bailey, job.q, job, in no MP. I mean, the fact that the funny thing is like, that's pretty much it because if you're going to do some queuing in production, you probably want to use a well-established library. In the .NET space, I think a lot of people use Hangfire with like a Redis. Let's see, Hangfire. And then they have, let's see, they have some backing stores that you can use. Let me see. Database. .NET, Hangfire, database. Yeah, I've seen people use Hangfire with Redis quite a bit, but it looks like they support other things. PostgreSQL, SQL Server. But yeah, I think in most cases, if you need the ability to do like queues and process those queues in the background, I think vast majority of people would probably use some out of the box solution. RabbitMQ, right? I've seen that one used quite a bit.
MRK_Manansala is telling you to drink some coffee.
Oh, thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Coffee indeed. Process these hands. That's pretty funny. Your malware fights back. Let's see, or just a random interesting problem. I wrote a robot lawnmower simulator to see and visualize how inefficient the naive algorithms were. Interesting. Performance computing is interesting. You could do something with that. I don't think I know enough about performance computing to do anything with it. I could learn about it, but I don't think I could do anything interesting with it. Inspire said, oops, the plan is ruined. Oh, it's not ruined. I still think it would be kind of interesting to have a Discord bot that you can talk to. Yeah, I hate obfuscating and building loaders manually, so I've been working on something to speed it up. I'm calling it Halo. Interesting. That's such a I have no familiarity with anything in that world. So, I mean, I feel like you should start streaming because I think a lot of people would find the stuff you're working on very, very interesting, Kate. Because I mean, I would tune in because I've never seen anybody build stuff like that. Inspire, make one that DMs me when you stream. All right, so I think I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna hack it. I think I'm gonna hack it together. The one question I do have is, let's see, is there a way to limit a Gemini API key to only the free tier? I don't know if that's a thing you can do. I do, but it's against TOS to show defensive evasion or intrusion tools. Oh, I did not know that. I guess that makes sense, right? I guess that makes sense. How to revert a paid key to free. Okay, so let's go into Google Cloud Console. I'm not going to show this on screen because I'm afraid I'll lose something. Google Cloud Console. You could also self-host Gemma 3.4b for the bot. I don't think I have anything that can self-host it, though. I don't think I have any hardware that's good enough to run the inference. I wish I did. I wish I had, like, PewDiePie level. I wish I had some of that PewDiePie money. But unfortunately, I do not. Let's see, I need to create a new project. Oh, actually, hold on, I already have a project for this. Okay, so let's go to AI Studio. Let's bring in new project. Yep, this will work perfect. Now that we have Steve's bot, we can create an API key for that. Create API key. Steve's bot development. That goes to that guy. Create key. Cool. So that's on the free tier, so we won't have to worry about racking up a big bill. And then we can come in here. Man, I haven't worked on this project in forever. Stephen Freeborn feature give bot words. would require about 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Traveling salesman? What is that? Like are you talking about traveling salesman like the problem? Like the leak code problem? Mark, free APIs. Show it. No, I'm not gonna show it. Stop antagonizing me. Oh man, PewDiePie surely is great. Dude, the videos he's been making recently have been a lot of fun. I have been trying to make a data retrieval tool for a while. It uses BitTorrent like logic to distill data. It isn't going well. Just give it to James. Just give it to the AI. Just give it to the AI, man. AI rules, remember? Let's see. It's what I'm considering doing since want to try out OpenClaw but don't want to use an external LLM. Yeah, I totally get this concern. I don't know. I just don't think I have a server that can host that model and run the inference in a speedy amount of time. I'd like to know more about how BitTorrent works. I don't know how BitTorrent works, Marcus. That's a Google question. Let's see. Foundry is local hosted, I believe, and can run on any iPhone. Foundry. What's Foundry? Foundry. Is this an AI thing? Foundry. LLM. LLM Foundry is an open source library designed for training, fine-tuning, and evaluating large language models. Is this what you're talking about, David? Oh no, the ads got Kate. Has anyone had to deal with a wrist RSI? What's RSI? Like an injury? Wrist RSI. Repetitive strain injury. Nope, I haven't. Thank God I haven't yet encountered that. I'm out of jail. Well, I'm glad you're back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, David, or anybody, David, King Brownie, if any of you guys are able to get a smaller local model up running relatively quickly on cheap, inexpensive hardware, let me know. I would definitely love to hear about those projects, because that's something I'm very interested in doing, but I don't want to spend hardware. I don't want to spend any money on hardware to do it. And every time I've tried to do it, the inference has been so slow that it pretty much is unusable. This chat is just Steven Googling stuff in acronyms, basically. Yeah, I'm trying to keep up, man. Okay? Give me a break. Yeah, I'm guessing Twitch has a pretty sophisticated algorithm for figuring out when to insert ads. Oh, you had carpal tunnel surgery already? Dang, how old are you? That sucks. I felt like carpal tunnel surgery is something that happens like after 30 years of typing on a keyboard. Oh, dude, you must be putting in the reps. That's crazy. Look up LM Studio. It will even recommend you models. LM Studio. So is this something though, Oblivion, is this something that you can put on a server, or is this something that is like has a GUI? Pip install Studio SDK LMS. Let's see, getting started with the LMS command line utility. LMS ships with LM Studio. You don't need any additional steps. So I guess this is what you would use in like a server type of environment. David, how many hours of stream recording you think you got total? Let's see. I've done at least 2 hours every day for the last I don't know, since September of last year. So quite a bit. I mean, let's just say 2 times 365, probably 600 hours at least, something like that. LLM Studio doesn't manage concurrent requests well. Olama is better in that aspect, or better yet, Docker. So you guys have had good results from running this stuff like on a small server without a GPU or anything? Because last time I tried Olama, it was really, really slow. LLM Fit on GitHub is supposed to be good. Interesting. LMS, yes, it also has a daemon version, but I used it mostly as a desktop app. So yeah, so like I would just be, the only thing I would be interested in doing is using this as like my own hosted model. You know what I mean? Like I want a way to like basically instead of using Gemini or Anthropic or OpenAI's API, I basically want a model that I can talk to over an API on a server. Has anybody had any luck doing that, or like have a setup that they think works well? September, that's when I got my job. Nice. Yeah, September. Well, I started streaming like December of 2024 was when I started streaming. But for like the first 6 months of streaming, I wasn't as consistent as I am now because I was trying to do it during the day. Like I would do like an hour over lunch, or an hour over lunch to code, and then like an hour in the mornings or afternoons just to like sit and chat with people. Let's see, Kate, I'll pull up my design document later. I founded a group called Hell in a Shell that has been making projects for the cybersecurity. That's pretty cool. I love the name Hell in a Shell. And building our own AI is a project we're working on. We are still gathering appropriate data and turning it into a question response format for training. We built a tool for scraping data, and we have all the services we use on there and recommended pricing. Nice. LLM Studio does have server settings. Okay, that's good. You really need a GPU. See, this is the problem. Yeah, see, this is the problem. Llama.cpp for the win. Let's see, this hosts it for you. Yes, Llama would maybe be more attuned to you than like was recommended. Open Router is cool if you want access to any model, not self-hosted. Yeah, so that I want something that like I can just use my own compute. That would be cool. If it's slow, that's not due to Olama. It's just the resource requirements for the model you selected and how you param. Yeah, see, that was my and that's what I didn't think it had anything to do with Olama. I've always thought it had to do with the hardware that I'm working with. Llama CPP is the best for this. Let's see. You would need a graphics card, but the size of the model would matter. I have two old gaming laptops which handle a 2 billion parameter model. Also, good morning, Ryan. Thank you for being a member, man. Appreciate you being here. Let's see, 2 billion. Yeah, see, I don't think I have the hardware necessary to do this. So I think I'm stuck in using a provider world until I want to shell some money out on some hardware. Pablo said, "Own compute, but no GPU doesn't exist." Yeah, this this is how I felt for the last year and a half. Because every time I've tried to do it, I've just left feeling frustrated because the inference is slow. So they're training a statistical model on data that they scraped, and they charge for access to that freely available information. Sounds like highway robbery. Ryan, this right here. I fuck with this. Macs are great for LLMs. They have joint memory or something. Oh, interesting. What's your tech stack? I typically will build backends in C# and front ends in TypeScript, mostly for web development stuff. Databases, I can take or leave. I don't really care. MongoDB, SQLite, Postgres. I don't really care too much on the database side. You might be able to find a cheap gaming laptop on Facebook Marketplace. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, hardware wise, I would be using a Linux server, like it's a Linux box. Like one of the servers is a Dell Optiplex, and one of the servers is an old retired MacBook Air. So they're like it's just like home lab stuff, you know. And then I have a VPS that I use that's in Oracle's cloud, but again, there's not beefy hardware in any of those machines. And my computer surely can run a rotating 3D potato. I was like, you could try AWS Bedrock, but that's your call. Yeah. No, I don't think I need to go Bedrock. I'll just use the Gemini API. I like the Gemini models. Unfortunately, even with the 5090, you'll only be looking at models that perform well when able to use search engines, and you'll be looking at only a few dozen thousands of quality context windows. See, this is why I've been bitching so much about the self-hosted model thing, right? Is because it's like, sure, you can self-host an LLM, but is it really feasible? It doesn't seem like it's really feasible today without a lot of investment of hardware. Inference is expensive. It takes GPU cycles. They charge for that, not really for training. Or Mac Mini is likely cheapest for self-hosting larger LLMs, much cheaper than a 5090, and will have more VRAM. Well, if I have to spend any more money on hardware, then it's a no for me. Mark, how much does it cost to run your lab? I have no idea. I mean, my electricity bill is affordable, so it hasn't made me question how much I pay in electricity. So I think it doesn't cost me very much. James, I got a 3090 and I can't good model in it. See, this is yeah. I do have two laptops that have graphic cards in them. I have a 1660 Ti, I think, super older laptop. And then I have another laptop that has a 3080 in it. But both those, like, the 3 billion parameters models will work, but like anything larger than that kind of chokes it. Try OpenRouter. You can use any model, includes Gemini, and any model you can think of. I've heard of OpenRouter, yeah. And I think actually you had recommended that to me before, or somebody else. David, yeah, but does she have a license? As long as hardware costs less than 6 months of a subscription, it's worth it. Well, yeah, but what if I only ever use the free tier of these of the provider? You know what I mean? See, hosting locally is mostly if you're trying to build agents that are specifically trained on a purpose or a specific data set. Huh. I would just use them hosted locally just to avoid paying other people. That's why I would use it. You could probably use the two laptops combined using the GPUs for distributed inference, I think. That sounds complicated. James, just ask Gemini how to use Google AI Studio API. Okay, I want you to know my main computer is a laptop and it used a 1660 Ti, and I won't accept slander. My work computer is just an Asus I swapped the OS on. Fair enough. It's just I know for a lot of people when I talk about a 1660 Ti, they're probably like, God, that's so old. Have you tried Air LLM? I have not. Air LLM. There's so much I can't keep up with all this stuff. That's why I have to stream so that I can find out about it through talking to people on the internet. Air LLM optimizes inference memory usage, allowing 7 billion large language models to run inference on a single 4 GB GPU card without quantization, distillation, and pruning. You can run 405B Llama 3.1 on 8 GB of VRAM now. Interesting. That's cool. Sounds like a very, very useful thing. Yeah, that's super cool. Well, if I ever go down this rabbit hole of figuring out how to buy some decent hardware, that might come in handy. I have no idea how they manage that. I have no idea. You'd have to ask Adwaith. This old laptop has run every game I've given it without complaints. I love that. I love that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the old reliable. Let's see, because you limited hardware, you would want something specialized, so you really have to decide what you want to do. Want it to do moderate, code review, interact. Just interact. That's all I want. I just want to give it a voice because I think it'd be funny, you know? Give it a personality. James, that's a big claim. I'd do some research. Yeah, but I'm not going to do the research because I'm not that interested in it. It's good to know about, but I don't think I'm going to invest any time into trying to suss out the technical underpinnings of that library.
Did we just become best friends?
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Steel. I think with Air LLM, you won't have to. It should be able to host the model on the 1660 Ti without breaking a sweat. Oh, interesting. Well, I'm not. The thing is, I'm not planning on repurposing any of those laptops. Those laptops are still in use for other things. So right now, I'm still limited to 3 different Linux boxes, all with no GPU in them, which I don't think any of them are going to work. I think I just need to save up my money and make this like a legitimate project. Kind of like I did with the NAS last year. I just need to sit down, put some money aside, and then actually make a go of it. Fighting my Kali Linux to run Discord. Off-topic fun fact. After visiting my doctor yesterday morning at the ass crack of dawn, I learned that anti-anxiety meds such as Wellbutrin are commonly prescribed in low doses for smoking cessation. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. I wonder what the mechanism is there. That's interesting. Let's see. Oh, in that case, look for simple models. I was impressed by Oro 2.6b. Fits in a 6 gigabyte VRAM GPU, so either of those laptops, and with the smallest system prompt, it works great. Sounds capable. So I'm gonna have to. I need to make a. Basically, I need to sit down and make a list of all the recommendations that you guys have, and just kind of work through each one of them, right, and figure out which one seems to work the best. That probably would be a good project. Been out. Hi, Steven. Seems heavy discussion going around choosing hardware chips for running LLMs. It's going great. Oh yeah, we're basically so how we got on this topic, Vinay, is I have this Discord bot, and I thought it would be fun to allow this Discord bot to respond to messages either via DM or being tagged in a channel. And so we were talking about, okay, cool, if you're going to do that, then you've got to obviously deal with like usage, right? API usage. And so then I was saying that I'm going to use the Gemini API, and I was just going to use their free tier so that I didn't have to worry about running up a big bill. And then we got on the topic of like, okay, well, why don't we self-host the model? And then chat was trying to give me ideas on how to make that work. But I'm in a very constrained hardware environment, so that's how we got here. Adam, Copilot is your best friend. Vesktop is your best friend. What's Vesktop? Vesktop? I don't think I've heard of that. Vesktop? Vesktop comes with VinCord out of the box, allowing you to customize your Discord experience with many powerful plugins and themes. Oh, interesting. It's a custom desktop client for Discord. I didn't know people built their own clients. That's pretty cool. It's very cool. Pablo, I'm sending syntax videos today. Okay. Send them. 10-minute cooldown after follow is huge. Yeah, so the problem with the problem with Twitch is they don't let you go any lower than 10 minutes on the chat. So sorry about that. We try to. I have that limit on. I have it on YouTube. It's set to 5 minutes, and I have it on more just to keep the riffraff out, so that people don't just do like drive-by trolling. Ryan, they block the nicotine receptors in the brain and stop you from getting the dopamine hit from the cigarettes. Interesting. Very interesting. Self-hosting is way more expensive at the end of the day. Yeah, so that's my gut feeling. Unless I wonder, well, I don't know. Has anybody hosted one of these things? Is the power draw a lot? Like, is the electricity quite expensive? That's the part I don't know about. I mean, it's definitely expensive from the hardware perspective. Why am I getting an ed ad? Or sorry, an ed ad? That they missed the mark on that one, Kate. I think they missed the mark. Discord clients are against TOS, but historically only manually reported users who exploited endpoints or behaved like self-bots were hit with bans. Oh, interesting. So Vestop is actually violating TOS. Risky business. David, if you were making a local LLM, I do implore you to look at the Onyx runtime and Foundry. It's for cheapening the cost of training. Okay, interesting. I've heard of the Onyx runtime. I actually used that. I used the Onyx runtime in my background removal tool, but I have not heard of Foundry. The Foundry thing is new. James, depends on how much you use it. That makes sense. Whenever you use it, if it's idling, it won't cost you much. So we basically just have to set it up and see if it gets much use. I would say the main benefit of self-hosting is security. I don't exactly trust any free API keys. That's fair. That's fair. Let's see, not much. I'm hosting 3 models on 3 different systems. They are good if you're planning to build agents that can orchestrate together. Interesting. It's the obsolescence of the hardware. It's enough today, but not tomorrow if you want to upgrade the models. Yeah. Yeah. This I feel. This I feel, and this I concern myself with. I'll make a table of recommended. Yeah, for sure. Any recommendations on, like, preferably if you have like step-by-step guides on like what you did and how you did it, that would be awesome. I'd love to hear about those experiments that you run. I don't know how often I'll sit down and work through them, but I do think it would be an interesting thing to have available, in your home lab, is like have a self-hosted model available. I think that would be cool. You don't need to go free tier. The models are hyper cheap. I used $1, run like 200 prompts. Yeah, but it's just the fact of spending any money on anything that like isn't making you money kind of feels like a waste, right? It's like if it's not making you money, but you're putting money into it, right? It kind of just feels unnecessary. Okay, I recommend helping Kate scrape data in your free time. These are not the droids you are looking for. Pablo, make it make money. Yeah, put it to work. Oblivion, then it's called a hobby. True. Pablo, super chat to talk to the bot. $1 to talk to the bot. $1. All right. Well, first things first, we have to figure out how to do this. So, I think if I remember right, I should be able to do something like this, where we should just be able to register a new handler. But I don't know what the event is that we're looking for, so we need to go figure that out. So we want to do something like client.on Discord event types dot. And I think we want you have to add a new event type. So we need to go to the Discord. The Discord API doc. Let's see, Discord API docs. We need more AI tar pits. We do, don't we? I'm super strict with who I give access to my tools. The first thing I ever made was an exploit development environment, and it cut down on the time to write new exploits from months to less than a day. I had to face the reality that it's cool to have, but probably shouldn't give to the public. The AI we are making on is in a similar boat. I'd love to make some money. Yeah, that seems like in that world, the world you're in, there's definitely some gray areas. Some gray areas. Okay, let's see, Discord, Gateway API. There we go. Gateway events. Receive events. Receive events are gateway events encapsulated in an event payload. Man, it's been so long since I've messed with this. Message was created. Message update. So I guess we want to listen to the message create. Excuse me, sent when a message is created. The inner payload is a message object. See, member properties for this message's author, missing for ephemeral messages and messages from webhooks. An array of user objects optionally with an additional partial member field. So I guess I want to listen for the message create and then check if my bot is in the mentions. So you have ID of the message, the ID of the channel the message was sent, timestamp, user specifically mentioned in the message, channel specifically mentioned in the message, type of message activity, message reference, data showing the source of a cross post. Yeah, okay. So unlike persistent messages, ephemeral messages are sent directly to the user and the bot who sent the message rather than through the guild channel. Because of this, ephemeral messages are tied to the direct message's intent, and the message object won't include guild ID or member ID. All right, so I think what the first thing I'm going to implement is just the ability to at the bot. So let's do message create. Oh, we already have a message create handler. Okay, so what does this thing do? Handle async. Why is this thing upset? Does not contain a definition for get service. Yeah, it does. Does this not build? Is this project broken? You should add some Easter eggs in there. Yeah, that would be fun. Let's see, .NET build. .NET build source. Oh, I bet. Does this even use .NET 10? I don't even know if this uses .NET 10. must have upgraded it at some point. Okay, so it did compile, so I don't know what those warnings were about. Okay, so this one is looking for if Discord event is not message create Discord event, and message type is not user join. Okay, so then how do I know what the different message types are? I don't remember how I figured out any of this last time. Message type. There we go. Type of message. So what was the type of message here? Discord message types, user join. Okay. User join. Reply. Thread created. What's default? Okay, well, let's just see what happens, I guess. Let's, I'm gonna open up my test Discord server and just do some exploratory stuff. Okay, so that bot's not online. And I'm guessing I'm going to need to set up a webhook, or I'm going to need to set up ngrok. Or no, this works over a WebSocket. So let's do .NET run project source Steve's bot webhook Docker file. Nope. See what happens. Alright, something broke. Invalid URI string. URI is empty. So I'm guessing I haven't configured this properly, so let's do open the notepad, open the file. It must be already, oh yeah, it's already, man, I burnt so much time today talking about random stuff. Did I just hear ngrok? Oh my gosh, I love it. I haven't heard someone bring that up in a while. Really? I use that quite a bit for doing like webhook stuff. Like whenever I have to develop locally, but I have to expose an endpoint locally, that's what I typically will use. Is there something better out there than that? Because I'm open to being sold something different. See you, Born to Shine. Have a good day. Let's see, this is, what am I looking for? Steve's bot. There you go. So when was the last time I developed on this thing? I don't remember the last time I... So we have to do source, Steve's bot, worker. Okay, so we have app settings.development.json that we need to populate with information. Let's remove that. Let's remove this. Remove that. Discord client options. So I wonder if I have. Everything is against TOS. I got banned from Discord for uploading a PDF on how to make a self-sustaining ecosystem that produces 1,000 pounds of protein a year in your backyard. They banned you because of that? That seems so random. How dare you help people produce a lot of protein? How dare you do that? How dare you? Excuse me. Okay. How do I do this? Let's do this. Okay. Let's see. OneDrive. There we go. We need to. Do I have Docker running? Yeah, I have Docker running. Do I have Seek? I do have Seek. Do I have an API key? I do not have an API key. And I can fix that. Let's see. Require. This is gonna be Steve's bot dot what? Steve's bot dot webhook? No, dot worker. And we want to ingest. That looks good. Copy that key. Put it here. Save it. All right, let's try that again. So we have our Seek instance running. We have our test Discord pulled up. Now let's go ahead and try to start this again. So .NET run that. Hey, there we go. Okay, I can't tell. It doesn't look like my bot came online. Oh, no, there it is. All right, let's see what messages we get. If I try to app the bot. I don't think I got a message. Oh, probably because it just returns. Okay, so let's shut that down real quick. And let's go back to our welcome message handler. Actually, let's create a new handler. So this is going to be our, what do we want to call this? Tagged message handler. That's what we'll call it. And we'll do tagged. This. Let's see. Yes, they actually banned me from the whole service, citing that information can cause harm to people using it because people can be allergic to duck eggs without ever knowing it. The same can be said about chicken eggs. That's so. First of all, that's so random. That's like unbelievably random. I don't even. Go figure. Do this. Okay, and then we're not going to discriminate by the type either here. We're just going to do an event. And then we're going to say logger.log information, copilot. Received message create event with type. Okay. And then let's also put that in the right namespace. Dude, the guy that wrote this bot actually made it pretty convenient to extend it, you know? I mean, implement a handler, and then you just register it. I don't know. I think the guy that built this actually kind of had an idea. Handle async. Okay, and then let's rerun the app. Okay. Let's try again. So we'll do at bot playground. Huh. There we go. Received message create with type message create. That's not helpful at all. Did I log the wrong thing? I think I logged the wrong thing. Welcome message handler. Message types. Oh, data.type. Okay, data.type. Received message create event with data type. Okay. And then we do at bot playground. Data type 0. So that's just a default. Okay. So then if we receive that, so let's add that as a type. Message type event types user join. So let's do public const int default equals 0. And then we'll come back to our handler and we'll say don't need to use neotree. We'll come back here and we'll say and mcde dot is message type message default. So if it's both those things, see, Discord event is not null, there's not this. Use of unassigned local variable. Oh. Then now we need to check to see if we're actually tagged. That's the other thing we need to do. So how do we check to see if we're tagged? I guess we have to figure out what our bot's user ID is, and then if it's in the mentioned array. So if we go to, if we go up here to message, Discord event, so message create Discord event. And so what we want is we want message default, I guess, Discord event. No, Discord message. So we have ID, type, channel ID, guild ID, author. So those are all things that are part of the message. And now we need to handle another property. Default. So this is the message object. The inner payload is a message object. So this, the top level of this will have a mentions. So the actual message create event will have mentions on it. So I guess we should add that here. An array of user objects. So let's do JSON property name. going to be mentions on public, I guess, list of Discord user mentions. You, Yahan, Ion, we all go to sleep. Sorry. Sometimes I think my streams are they're a little low energy compared to a lot of other people's streams. I've definitely been told that people have fallen asleep while watching my streams, which I don't know if it's a compliment or an insult. Because it depends on how you look at it. Hey, what's up? I am Trapped. Hi, Steven. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I am, man. I'm drinking coffee. I'm writing code. You know, I'm learning stuff. It's fun. Yeah. Good morning, Victor. I cannot complain. I'm actually super excited for the end of this week because tomorrow we're going to see my brother and his family, and they just had their second baby, and I have yet to meet her. So I'm going to get to meet my niece this weekend, and I'm really excited. We're going to spend a week with them. Our entire spring break is basically going to be spent with them, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Duck Boy, it is really soothing, to be honest. Well, that's totally fine. I'm totally fine with people using my streams to help them fall asleep. It's no problem here. So Discord user. That's good. I think this has an ID. Yep. So then what I need to do is I need to basically say, okay, great. We have your list of mentions, and then in the handler we have to say, is my user's record in this? And I think get welcome message, data.author.id. So we have welcome message, we have a message reference. That's how we're replying. And then we're saying Discord REST client create message async. Now, how does the this client work? Discord REST client, program CS. Where do we register that? There's Discord client options. Discord REST client. So we do what? We create a new HTTP client. We send a get async gateway endpoint. So how do we identify ourselves? Create message. Channel endpoint request. I don't understand how we identify. Like, how do we authenticate? Just creating a client. This HTTP client must be configured, right? But where is it getting configured? That's the question. So I see it used in the gateway namespace, but I don't see it used anywhere else. Huh. So then how does... It's got to identify itself some way, shape, or form. Response, request, content. This is what happens when you work on a project you haven't worked on for a long time. Let's see. REST client. Let's see. Discord, HTTP client or API. I'm not doing that. Let's see, using a bot token or using an OAuth 2 bearer token. The thing is, I don't see this being set anywhere in my app. That's the thing, I don't know where that's coming from. Bot. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Discord bot. There, that's where it's coming from. So it's coming from this method where I actually register the REST client. Okay, that makes sense. So the question then becomes, how do I get my user ID? How do I get my bot's user's ID? That's the question I need to answer. Right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to say need to fetch the bot's user ID. Then check to see if the bot was mentioned. So then we'll do something like this. It'll look something like this, where it'll say or mcde.mentions user, and we'll pass in that ID. So let's just, for now, let's just assume it's a string, and let's instantiate this method. Go to this, and we'll say return mentions.any where u.id. Let's see, let's do string.equals, or actually we can do u.id.equals empty. Let's say user. is false. So basically, if the Discord event is not a create event, or if it's not the right message type, or if it doesn't mention our user, then we return easy. Or return early. Sorry, not return easy. Return early. Call me overly cautious, but I wouldn't trust a Discord bot with an API key. Really? Interesting. Victor, what's her name? Denise? Who are you talking about? What's whose name? Oh, my niece's name? I don't know if I should say it on stream. I don't know how my brother and his wife feel about like how publicly their kids' information is out there in the world, so I won't say that. Not because I don't know her name, okay? I do know my niece's name. I just don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to upset them or do anything that would upset them. I was confused when you said the niece, but really what you're trying to say is the niece. Okay, so Discord API to get user. Maybe they have like a me endpoint. Does anybody know? It's got to be like a me endpoint. User. Get user. There we go. Returns the user object of the requester account. For OAuth 2, this requires the identity scope, which will return the object without an email, optionally the email scope. So users at me. And what does it return? It returns the user object. Okay, so we should be able to do a very similar thing that we're doing here, which is we will get the REST client from DI, like so. And then what we'd like to be able to do is we'd like to be able to say var bot current user await dot get me async. So let's generate that method. Oh, this should also take a cancellation token. Let's go into this guy. This should be cancellation token. This should also return a Discord user. This. And then we'll go to the REST Discord REST client. And this is now going to throw an error because it doesn't implement the interface. So let's implement it. And then do a little bit of copy pasta here. Now you are going to be, what was it? It was like users. I think it was users at me. Users at me. And it was get async. We don't need the request. Make it async. failed to retrieve current user this also should be the endpoint. I guess that didn't work. So, and then this is going to be, let's just follow the same naming convention that we followed everywhere else. Cancellation token. And now it's not going to be Discord message, it's going to be Discord user. That. And we're going to read from JSON and we're going to deserialize to a Discord user. And then we'll say failed to deserialize user response. That. Okay. Which means then back in our handler, we should be happy now, right? Yeah. And then this is where we'll say, instead of just saying mention string.empty, we'll say bot user ID or .id. Like that. And hopefully this will work. So let's try it. So let's go ahead and stop the application. We'll rerun it. And then the first thing we'll do is we'll try to test it with a message. So I'll just send, oh, it still hasn't started yet. Hey, what's up, Rockin' Brain? Good to see you. Ryan, no internet access, no texting. It's the perfect phone for emergency situations and still being made. What are you talking about? I was driving the other day when you mentioned your kid wanting a phone, so I couldn't mention the phone my parents got me at 15. It's an LG Migo. It has 4 programmable phone numbers and 911. LG Migo. Oh, wow. That's a throwback. Yeah. That looks like some of the phones I had, like, growing up. Although this looks very trimmed down. It looks like it's 4 speed dial keys, an emergency key, vibrate mode. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to end up doing, how my wife and I are going to end up planning to tackle that. I think right now our thought is to have some sort of, like, shared family phone, maybe, that the kids can use, but that's super locked down. But thank you very much for the recommendation. A dumb phone, a simple dumb phone would be good like this. But yeah, definitely a thing we want to put some thought into, you know. I think very few good things come from just giving your kid free reign to the internet. All right, I'm going to try to send a message. This is a message without a mention. Okay, it did receive. Did it receive one? Oh no, that makes sense. There shouldn't be any log statement. Now I'm gonna try to @ and send it now. I think it worked. Oh no, it didn't work. Let's see, 200. Okay, so it did get. It is successfully retrieving the user. So you can see like right here, we got a successful response. But something in our check isn't working. So let's remove this for a second. And let's just log some more information. So let's say logger.log information. See users mentioned. And we'll do mentioned users. And we'll do mcde dot mentions actually, we're gonna do this. We're gonna say string dot join, and let's just join by a comma. What? Cannot convert from. Oh, I think I have these backwards. So do this and then mcd.mentions. There we go. So those are our mentioned users, and then let's also get the ID bot user. Do bot user ID, and we'll just say bot user.id. Okay, that'll give us pretty good visibility into what data we're getting back from the socket. Things like Blue Waffle, Paint Olympics. Oh yeah, for sure, man. There's so many things you could trip over on the internet. I think our kids will probably end up being the weird kids compared to their friends, because I don't think me and my wife are planning to really allow our kids to have access to, particularly to social media. I definitely want them to have access to the internet, and I want them to know how to navigate it, because it's not going away anytime soon. But social media is something that it seems like that might be one of the more damaging things you can introduce to your kid, especially when they're young. All right, let's do this is a message without a mention. Okay. Let's see what this has. Okay, so we do have bot user ID, but there are no mentions. Okay, so that's our problem probably, is we're not, for whatever reason, we're not serializing the mentions. I wonder, do you think that this mentions field actually doesn't exist on this message create object? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So this says sent when a message is created. Message create extra fields. What does that mean? Like I took it to mean that these exist on the upper payload, but maybe they exist Oh, the inner payload is a message object with the following extra. I'm an idiot. I just need to read the docs. Oh, damn it. So this actually needs to go down one level on my definitions here. So we need to move this. And we need to move it down here. That mentions. Why are you upset? Change list to use collection or key collection. Hold on, why? Is it because it's public? Oh. I wonder why it's public. I don't know why I would have done that. Okay, that's fine. Let's do... How about we do this? How about we just do Discord user array? Properties should not return arrays. Okay. So let's go back and we can do. Can I do IEnumerable? It really does. It really wants me to do something in a very specific way. I wonder, can you deserialize to an IEnumerable? Let's see, JSON.NET, JSON serialization, IEnumerable. Okay, so that'll work. Okay, so IEnumerable. I really don't know why this is public. Oh, because it exists in a separate project. That's why. And then this needs to become public. And then go back to the handler, which means now what we do is we say, instead of saying users mentioned here, we do it here. We do data.mentions like this. And let's rerun our test. I think we're getting close. And then we have to actually implement the Gemini aspect of this. Okay. So this is a message without a mention. Okay, there were no users mentioned. And then let's try now to do it over here. At bot playground. There we go. We got user ID, and then the user was mentioned here. So now we can use that to detect if we've been tagged. So what we'll do is we'll say, I wonder why it displayed it that way. Users mentioned Discord bot. Oh, because I should have done select. Like that. Okay. I'm going to go up here and say or mcbe.data dot mentions user bot user dot id is false. So now, again, so the whole point here is this handler should only run when we get the create event. It's a default type, and it mentions our user. That's the only time we should, or at least that's the only time this handler should run. There might be more. There might be more cases where we want it to run. But we're just going to isolate that for now. So we'll say do bot tagged in message. And now what we want to do is we want to respond to that message, right? So we have an example of that already in our handlers. Welcome message. So what we can do is we can just say, let's say for the content, let's just say, yo, I hear you. And then let's see, default mcd data.id.channel.guild. Yep, that looks good. Created welcome message. Let's say responded to tagged message. Yeah, that looks good. So we're tagged in a message. Now we're just going to respond. And then this is where we're going to generate, whenever we go to generate the content, this is where we're going to generate the actual LLM response. So we'll say to do, use LLM to generate response. All right, let's see if it works. Hey, what's up, Ulas? What you doing? We're just tinkering this morning. We're kind of in the middle of projects at the moment, and so I haven't really decided what next to work on. So I decided this morning just to play around with adding some functionality to my Discord bot, and that's been fun so far. We had some long, deep conversations about self-hosting large language models. We have yet to have an existential crisis about AI, so that's a positive. Okay, that worked. And let's say at playground. Say at bot playground, are you here? Nice, it worked. Let's go. Cool. Dude, it's so why is it so pleasing? Like, you know, the shit should work, but when it actually works, it's so pleasing. It's like, of course it works, Steven. You did everything you were supposed to do correctly. He wants to make the Death Star. I wish I could make the Death Star. And then I would turn it on all my enemies. Everyone who's ever wronged me. Although, when you think about it, the Death Star is a little bit too imprecise of a weapon. Because, like, who really wants to destroy an entire planet? Like, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. It's not very surgical, you know? It's not surgical at all. Was AFK for a bit, just made the best bananas flambe of my life. This is a reminder that you can slice a banana the long way in half, put it in a frying pan, add a bit of butter or oil and sugar, flip, add sugar, then dash of rum over it, let the alcohol boil off, and serve. I'm hungry just thinking about that. Sounds like a delicious dessert. Random recipes are always welcome. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing? I'm doing good. Yeah, man. I ran out of coffee a little bit ago. But other than that, no complaints. All right. So we need to build a Gemini service. So let's go ahead and add that in the library, I think would be good. So let's go ahead and do Gemini. And we'll do a similar thing here where we'll say I, Gemini client, and we'll do Gemini client. And then we're going to need some models for the request. And we're going to need some models for the response. Although, actually, I think it's just going to have a singular response. And I think they all take the same shape. So let's do namespace is stevespot.library.gemini. We'll do public interface I Gemini client. Yeah, we want empty though at the moment. Then namespace is going to be stevespot.library.gemini public sealed class Gemini client, which implements I Gemini client. And this will take how did we do it for the rest? Yep, that looks good. Waiting for my turn to drive on ice, gonna lurk. Well, why are you driving on ice? I don't understand. I'm worried for you. Why are you driving on ice? Gunheist, yo, it's been a while. It has. How are you doing, Gunheist? Thank you again for being a member, as always, man. Good to see you. Hope life is treating you well. I don't think I lied. Why did I do it this way? Why didn't I just do this? Argument null exception dot throw. If null logger name of logger. So now we can just do logger equals logger HTTP client equals HTTP client like this. And we're going to come back to the other one and we're going to change that to over here. We can literally copy and paste that. Nice. Sharat, hi Steven, got married and back to your life. Did you really get married? That's crazy, dude. Congratulations if you really got married. How long you guys been together? It's a course where you basically drive in different conditions. Everyone has to do it after getting a license. Oh wow. You have to learn how to drive on ice to get a license? Or to after you get a license? That's crazy. Where do you live at? Where is that like a law or like a rule, or where are you from? I have a friend driving through a blizzard right now to work. That sounds horrible. They should have let him work from home. Maybe his job doesn't let him work from home. CDL probably. Oh, that's a good point, Neil. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Hello, Tafikan? I think is how you say your name. Hello. Good to see you. Good morning. All right, I've written these Gemini types a half dozen times in my life, so I'm going to copy them from another project. Let's see. We would like Gemini. So we want a request that looks like this. Request.cs. Oops. Let's see, none of that exists. We need content. Let's see, content. Then we need parts. Copy that. I'm just stealing this code from another one of my projects. And then we have content parts. You should be happy now. And then request generation config. So I honestly don't know if I need that one. Generation config, but go ahead and add it. Change. Yep, that's fine. Okay, that's all we need for the request, and now to do the response. We need to do response.cs, and the response has some candidates.
Did we just become best friends?
Lucas, thank you very much for the sub, man. I appreciate that. I think you might be the first one of the day, so thank you very much. Okay, and then we need candidate, and the candidate is just the content again. Like that. And honestly, I don't like dealing with nullable types, so we're just going to say this is new. And we're going to go here to content. We're going to go to oh, that's interesting. I don't want this to be required. Just make it, just initialize it to an empty collection. Who wrote this code? Okay, and then response goes here. We're not going to make that null. We're just going to set that equal to an empty. That. And then now we need to go ahead and implement a method that does what we want it to do. Now, does this need to be structured? Probably not, but it would probably be easier. Okay, so I'm going to do this on the response. I'm going to say public string get text, and we are going to do return candidate candidates dot first if candidates dot count dot length is 0, then just return a string dot empty. Otherwise, we'll say var content, or let's do var text content equals so we have to get the content, we have to get the parts. So we'll say var text content equals candidates dot first dot content I'll say if parts dot length is 0, return string dot empty. Otherwise, return parts dot first dot text. God, I hate the Gemini API's response structure so much. I understand why it is the way it is, but I hate it so much. Okay. Let's do config, and we don't need this. We just need the temperature. Remove that. And then on the client, I don't know, what would be a good method name for this? Public task string. And maybe we just do generate message async. Maybe generate response. We take a string, which is the input, and we take a cancellation token like that. Call it good. I don't even know what Gemini calls that endpoint. Gemini generate message endpoint. Generate content. That's generate content. Better than Ask Async Steven. Hello, Steven. How to start with AI integration in .NET project? Honestly, Tyke, if it was me, the place I would point you at is, I mean, obviously, like you don't have to use a library, right? If you want to just use AI in your application, like you can just make HTTP requests to the API just like you can any other API, create all the different types and all that stuff like I'm doing right now, right? If you don't want to take a dependency on a library. But if it's something that you're really serious about, right, and you want to just get up and running really quickly, I would point you at two libraries. There's one called Agent Framework, which is kind of, at this point, this is kind of Microsoft's flagship library that's available for .NET to help you integrate AI very easily, and they have a bunch of great examples and tutorials and documentation here. And then so I would point you at this library to start with, and then the other library, which Microsoft Agent Framework sits on top of it. So like you can kind of imagine like it's Agent Framework and then this underlying library is something called Microsoft.extensions.ai. It thinks that's a URL. .NET. So you can kind of think of this as like a package that sits on top of the providers, right? So like this is like a common set of abstractions. So if you want to use Gemini or you want to use Anthropic or you want to use OpenAI or something from Azure or something from AWS from Amazon Bedrock, they have this package that sits on top, and you can swap out the implementation details of like what model you're using while your application code just depends on these abstractions, which makes it really convenient, right? And they kind of give you this unified experience. So those are the two resources I would point you at. Probably I would try to, if you can, I would try to stay in the Agent Framework world. Like I said, Agent Framework is built on top of Microsoft.extensions.ai. So the Agent Framework is meant to be much more like, here's some pre-built things you can use to just go ahead and wire stuff up in your app. So that's why I say start with Agent Framework. So at Taik, there you go. It's good stuff. Ran Zoe felt smooth. Nice. Build a natural language token transformer in assembly, then you should be good to go. Yeah. That's one way. That's one way to start. Just create your own model. In assembly. That'll work. But yeah, I've used this library pretty heavily, and I find it to be kick ass. They also have a really nice dev UI that you can use locally to iterate on your agents or whatever AI thing you're building. Kind of reminds me a lot of like if you used like LangChain and LangSmith. This dev UI reminds me a lot of LangSmith. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. LLMs have ruined ML and DL models. AI is so much cooler than a chatbot. For sure, yeah, for sure. But I think the reason why chatbots get all the love, right, is because that was the first time people could interact with something that kind of simulated the experience of like a machine kind of acting like a human, right? It was the first time you could kind of experience AI in like the science fiction-y sense. Like I know machine learning and data science and artificial intelligence is like a huge field, deep learning, all those keywords, those are all like huge deep fields. What, right? But was it that? I think it was. I think it was the fact that like you could I personally think the fascination with ChatGPT it was around the fact that like I would be surprised if we all didn't have that experience where like the first time you used an LLM and it actually seemed like it understood what you were asking and like gave you back a meaningful response, right? Or like auto completed a method in your code base and it almost looks exactly like what you were going to type, right? It's like, oh my goodness, that's pretty freaking magical. So I mean, I understand. I totally get why the chatbot has become the way people think of AI for sure. Oh, I remember. Spent about an hour asking if it was aware. Was he? What's up, was he? Yo, what's up? Oh, well, shit, it's 7:30. Crap. All right, so where did we get to? We just need to generate the content. So let's, real quick, oh, this isn't going to be quick because we need to add options and stuff too. So we will need to add some service extensions. So I'm going to add another one that says add Gemini client. And let's go here and we'll say Gemini client. That we'll need to create our own options and stuff. So let's just, for now, let's just say throw new not implemented exception. But what we want to be able to do is in our tag message handler, we would like to be able to say bring it down and let's say if that is false, return. So we're not going to try to get the user unless we're here. And then we'd like to be able to also get the Gemini client. Gemini client. Yep. And then right here is where we'll do the generation. So we'll say var LLM response equals await Gemini client dot generate content async. Pass the cancellation token. And then right here is where we're going to put the message. Now, I don't know where the message content comes from. mcde.data. Oh yeah, we don't even have the content, so we need to get the content. So for now, we'll just pass hello. But let's do get message content from Discord event. Okay, cool. And then we'll pass that here. Like that. All right, lazy get. Get rename, get remote. All right, guys. We doing LLM stuff? We're not really doing LLM stuff, and like we're not anything meaningful. We're just basically trying to make the Discord bot have a personality. So if you do tag it in a message or you DM it, the bot can actually respond to you. That's basically all we're doing. Nothing really groundbreaking. Blackfire, it's definitely different to view this way and not horizontally. Good to see you, Blackfire. Thanks for coming over here. David, when you lock in, it really is a joy to watch. Consistent naming works, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm not very good at locking in. You know, I find I'm way more productive off stream. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if any of y'all stream or anything like that, but I find coding and streaming very difficult to do at the same time. But it is fun. Why C developers do not wear glasses? Because C#. It's a good one. Saw this article out, talks about LLM's ability to long-term maintain code. Might be interested. Yeah, I would love to read it. If you put it in Discord, I don't think YouTube will let you post links, but if you put it in the Discord, I can get a hold of it. All right, guys, I gotta go shower up because I gotta take my wife and kids to school this morning, and then I gotta drop my dog off at the boarding. Let's see. If you're new here and you want to come back and hang out in the future, we are normally live every morning from 4:15 to about 7 o'clock on Twitch and YouTube, so you're welcome to join anytime. And then if you want to hang out outside stream, the best place to find us is in our Discord, which is just discord.stephenfreeborn.com. I will be here, so I will definitely be here tomorrow morning. The rest of the week, though, so the 15th through, I think, the 21st, I don't know what my streaming schedule is going to look like. I'm going to be not at home. I'm going to be traveling to visit family. And I don't really know what the setup is like there. So I'm going to take my laptops and computers and stuff. So I'm going to try to take a stream setup, but I don't really know how likely it is that I'll be around. I don't know. We'll see. So at the very least, we'll end tomorrow on a good note and then see how it goes. Wife to school. Oh yeah, my wife works at the school where my kids go to school. That's why. See you, King Brownie. Bye, Duck Boy. Bye, David Bailey. Bye, James. Bye, Bartek. See you, Blackfire. Bye, Wuzzy. Bye, Taik. Tafiq. Bye, Kurtz. Bye, Oblivion. See you, Neil Thompson. Bye, guys. See y'all. Have a good day. Bye. See you guys. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Very kind of you.